Trustee Zalik.
Here.
Trustee Laraca.
Here.
Trustee Geezer.
Here.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Here.
Trustee Schwartzy.
Here.
Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Severino.
Please rise and join us in pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
to have a motion to approve the minutes of the December 16th, 2019 Village Board meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Trustee Schwartzy, seconded by Trustee Frusaloni. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Zalik.
Abstain.
Trustee Laraca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwartzy.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye. To have a motion for approval but not release of the executive session minutes of the December 16th, 2019 Village Board meeting.
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Trustee Frusaloni, seconded by Trustee Geezer. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zalik.
Abstain.
Trustee Laraca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwartzy.
Aye.
Trustee Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye. Okay, first up is our listening post, and I'm actually going to hand this over to Trustee Geezer for our Holiday House Decorating Contest winners.
Thank you very much. This is our fifth year where we have done our holiday decorating contest, and we've got some winners to congratulate today. And we have three winners. We do three categories: Big Snowball, Frosty's favorite, and the judge's favorite. And I can see we have two families here today. We may have more. So I will introduce them. And if you would please come up to the mic, and then we'll take a group picture with everyone afterwards. For the winner of the Big Snowball contest is 522 Hiawatha Drive, the Dranzaric family. Is anyone there? Now, I don't know if anybody's seen this house, but it's just around the corner from here, at the corner of Hiawatha and Illini, right across from J Stream Middle School. And they had it all decorated up and synchronized to music, and it was the judges, Jim Slinker and Joe Kozlowski, found it, very technically advanced and very entertaining. So congratulations to the Dranzaric family. We'll make sure they get their certificate. For Frosty's favorite, that for kid-friendly, for that the children of the community would love. And this is 928 Dearborn Circle, and the winner is Vuha. Did I say the name correct? Vuha, please come on up.
You guys did a great job. The house looked fantastic.
This was on Dearborn in the Western Trails area, and it had a million Santas and lights all over the place. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been doing decorations on your house. Okay. And well, thank you very much for doing that. And I received a nomination. We usually get them via email here at the village, but I got a phone call from the Veterans Memorial Committee member Louis Lingway saying, I walk by that every day. If it's not nominated, it needs to be nominated. So congratulations. We'll have you come back up in just a moment, okay? And the Judge's Favorite Award, this is a family that won several years ago. This is the Vanderbeest family at 1214 Easton Drive. Come on up.
On down.
This is Rudy. He's, in fact, he's been one of our judges for Halloween in the past. So,
Nice.
well, Dan, tell us what you did for Christmas. It was pretty amazing.
We had all of our lights synchronized to music, and we've done it in the last 2 years, but this is definitely the best we've had. Probably between 10 and 15,000 lights. Definitely our best display, I think. I think everyone else agreed with that.
When it looked like you had skaters in the front, that you guys, from what I understand, you guys built the gag yourself.
Yeah, I usually, for Halloween, I do all the animatronic things, and I decided to help them out and
Well, congratulations, and thank you very much for helping make the community a little brighter, a little happier during the holiday season. Vanderbeest and Buha family, please come on up. We'll take a picture with the whole board. Yeah, come on behind. Sure. Come on, you guys are in the honored position. You can bring the whole family if you want.
Congratulations.
I just want to know, what was the electric bill?
How are you?
What was the electric bill?
Thank you.
Nice.
Right, that's the way to go, right?
Please, please.
Oh, you might have to hold the little guy.
Absolutely.
Have a meal on the table.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you for keeping that Christmas spirit going.
Don't forget, Halloween is just a few months away. So start thinking of your
Not until
Halloween
after White
decorations.
Sox baseball.
What was that?
Not until after White Sox.
Oh, that's true. Well, shortly after the World Series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Before we move on to addresses from the audience, we have a few resolutions to read for long-term employees, which we seem to be reading, as I've said before, almost every meeting, somebody's got 20, 25 years, and it's amazing. This is Resolution 3120, a resolution honoring Pablo Castro upon his 20th anniversary of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream Police Department. Whereas Pablo Castro joined the Carroll Stream Police Department as a police officer on January 3rd, 2000. And whereas Pablo Castro was assigned many specialties throughout his career, including child safety seat technician, emergency vehicle operations instructor, bike patrol officer, juvenile officer, field training officer, gang resistance and training instructor, which the acronym is great. And whereas Pablo Castro was assigned to the Special Operations Unit as a tactical officer from 2003 until 2009. Pablo Castro became a certified school resource officer in July of 2011, and a drug abuse resistance education, our DARE instructor, in March of 2012. Whereas Pablo Castro has served as the school resource officer for J Stream Middle School since 2012, and whereas Pablo Castro has been honored with several commendations during his career. And whereas Pablo Castro has been employed as a public servant for 20 years as a law enforcement professional within the Village of Carroll Stream Police Department. And now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream, on behalf of all the former and present elected and appointed officials and residents of Carroll Stream, that Section 1, Pablo Castro's service and dedication to the Village of Carroll Stream and accomplishments in the field of law enforcement are hereby recognized and commended. Section 2, Pablo Castro is wished the very best of happiness and health in his continued employment with the Village of Carroll Stream. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and as approved by law, passed and approved on this 6th day of January 2020.
Should he say a few words?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. He has to.
He is our and everybody's DARE officer forever.
And then come up for a picture, right?
Let him do this thing.
I don't think the mic's on.
Speak loudly, Paolo.
While we're figuring this out, I'd like to,
Well, we can make a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Motion by trustee Geezer, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zalik.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frisoni.
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye.
All right. I just want to thank the village for recognizing me. I want to thank the officers that are here recognizing me as well. Without you guys here, wouldn't be here. You guys have really made me come to work every day a lot of fun. And then obviously the village, you guys have been very supportive, even trustee John Zalik. But I really appreciate this. My family's here, Elisa, Felicia, my daughter, and then my dad. So thank you, everybody, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Pablo.
Who are we looking at?
I'm looking in the middle.
When's your start date?
Pablo. You want to keep working here? You want to see 21?
Thank you.
Now, I have to say, a number of us on the board have the opportunity to go to the DARE graduations, and the impact Pablo makes on the kids of our community is amazing. They love him to death. They listen to him, and they want to be better because of him. I really believe that.
Absolutely.
So thank you for what you do, Pablo. Anything else, Paul? Okay, next up is a resolution honoring Tammy Dugo. Tammy's not here, but we still, of course, want to read the resolution, and trustee Frusaloni is asked to read that.
Thank you. Resolution number 3021, a resolution honoring Tammy Dugo on her 20th anniversary of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream Police Department. Whereas Tammy Dugo was hired as a records clerk for the Carroll Stream Police Department on January 17th, 2000, and whereas Tammy Dugo has been honored with several commendations during her career. And whereas Tammy Dugo has been employed as a public servant for 20 years as a records clerk for the Village of Carroll Stream Police Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream on behalf of all of the former and present elected and appointed officials and residents of Carroll Stream as follows. Section 1, the services and dedication Tammy Dugo provides to the Village of Carroll Stream and accomplishments in assisting all law enforcement officers and providing a valuable service to the residents of Carroll Stream are hereby recognized and commended. Section 2, Tammy Dugo is wished the very best of happiness and health in the future. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage as approved by law, passed and approved the 6th day of January 2020. I will make the motion to approve Resolution 3121.
I'll second.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Shorzy. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zalik.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frisoni.
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye, and we'll give her the same hand. We do have a couple of addresses from the audience. We ask you to keep it around 3 minutes. The first one up is Judge Jim McCluskey.
My name is Jim McCluskey. I'm a judge in the 18th Judicial Circuit. There's 46 judges in the 18th Judicial Circuit, and I was appointed 2 years ago. I practiced law for 40 years, then I was appointed. So I'm the senior citizen judge in the courtroom. My first assignment was in traffic court, and I came here today to tell you what an excellent police department that you have. I was in charge of the courtroom in which your police department, with respect to certain charges, traffic charges that come in, on at least a weekly basis. I found that your police officers are very professional, very forthright, very honest. And about a week ago, I was one of the duty judges that has bond court. Now, 24/7, a judge is available 365 days a year in DuPage County to serve the citizens. And we deal with the police departments on a daily basis. I had the distinct pleasure of doing it during Christmas time. But 2 days, day before, there was a police officer from Carroll Stream, a young female police officer. I think she's been with the force 2 to 4 years. I received a call at 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm available 24/7. She was very professional. She said, "Hello, Judge, how are you? I have a search warrant for you to sign." She showed up at my home. I live at 75th and Napier Boulevard. She came to me directly, exactly when she was going to be there. Her paperwork, it was in excellent order. She had the search warrant and the complaint all prepared, and she went on her way within 15 minutes. Unfortunately, I cannot remember her name, okay? But if you check the rolls with the police department, you'll find out, I've kind of described her. She was short in stature, but very tall in professionalism. And I just want to thank the village and there's 20 villages within DuPage County, and they have excellent police departments, and you're at the top of the list. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You know? Should we get a name?
Deputy Chief Zucker, do we know who?
Well done on her part, and thank you for the
Absolutely.
training that you provide all of our officers. We do have one more address from the audience, and that is Judy Ryan. Judy, please state your name for the record and address.
My address too.
Yes, please.
Judy Ryan, 913 Glen Lake Drive, Carroll Street. I've never done this before. I'm a resident for 30 years. I've come for 2 different issues, so I'll try and make it within the 3 minutes because I'm really nervous. My first issue is that last Friday, last Friday, I believe it was December 27th, I came home from work and I had a notice on my door. This notice, I gathered it from the village here. It says, "We have received a complaint about the feeding of wildlife at your residence." And at the bottom it says, "Please call me." I called the number at the bottom of the paperwork, and it was to a community service technician named Lou Estrada. When I called this person, she told me she had been at my house earlier in the day. She was knocking and knocking, ringing my bell, and I never answered, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I work in the hospital. I usually gone 12 hours a day. I just got home." It was probably about 6:15 when I called her, and she asked me if I knew the village ordinance regarding feeding of wildlife. No, I don't. What I had done is the day before Christmas, I have a lot of cats in my area. I back up to the shopping center. I always say it's where CB's is, but now it's like Goodyear and stuff. So 3/4 of my yard backs up to that parking lot. So I do get a lot of things from that, a lot of animals, I should say, from the back of the shopping center. There's a bunch of garbage cans and stuff. And I've had I'd say about in the last 4 or 5 months, a lot of cats. I think they belong to people because you see them, just always the same 2 or 3 cats. I've also had a lot of problems with skunks. My dog has gotten sprayed by a skunk 4 times since July. And as a matter of fact, I did send 2 emails to someone in the village named Robert, Mellor, on December 21st, and again on December 29th. I have never heard back, asking, if there's been a problem in the village. So after speaking with this community service technician, I'm so sorry, she told me that she would return in the morning, which was Saturday the 28th, to issue me a violation. And I said to her, well, the paperwork that I have in my hand says, please consider this a warning. If you continue to provide food outside of the designated area, you can and will be summoned to court. Totally understand. I've never done it before. I didn't know about it. Thank you for the warning. And she said, I'll be back in the morning to issue a violation. I said, well, this paperwork says it's just a warning, and if I continue, I can be cited. And she said, I'll talk to you in the morning. So the next day, it was Saturday, I had to work till noon. I came home about 2:30, my doorbell rings, and at the door is a community service technician with her truck out in front. And she's also standing there on my step with a Carroll Stream police officer. Took me back. My son recently died in the village of Carroll Stream, in my home. So when I saw the police officer at my doorstep, that's the last time I saw a police officer in my house. My son passed away a few months ago. So that was very upsetting, number one. She issued me a citation dated the day before, when she was at my house, for feeding wildlife. And I said, I don't understand why I'm getting the violation. You sent this to me. I didn't know. I know now, and it will never happen again. And she's like, well, but you're getting a violation. So I guess I've talked to people I've talked to her supervisor at the village, or at the police department, superintendent, I think her name is Kim, or Johnson is her last name. Very nice. I met with her today, and she just said, well, it's kind of like when you get pulled over by a police officer for speeding, you're like, oh, I never did before, can you give me a warning? It's up to that individual officer to make that decision. I showed her this paperwork, and she said this paperwork was drawn up by Lou Estrada. She's the person who handles the animal control for the village. And again, I understand, but I would think this would be something that the village or the village board would have to approve paper like this, especially if it's going out to residents in their doors. I work in the hospital at CDH. Everything we do is documented. If the paperwork is printed up, we just don't hand it out because Mary Lou made it. We made it because the Northwestern approved this paper, this letter to be sent to our patients and/or to your residents. And I guess that's my first issue is, if you're going to give me the ticket, you just should have put the ticket in my door that day. You should not have to come back the next day with a police officer. The police officer didn't say a word. She just stood there, totally fine. But I found it very intimidating. And then when I said something to Sergeant Johnson, she said, well, the police officers are there because sometimes, I guess, people, when they get violations, they might get mad or angry, so they're just there to prevent a problem to the technician, and I totally understand that. I guess the only other thing I'd like to say is when I talked to the Sergeant Johnson today, I said, well, do you not have a log of maybe people that you've gone to in their homes before, or who's a problem in the village, or we've been there 5 times for this, or 4 times for that. And she's like, we don't keep that log. Well, again, I go back to working in the hospital. Everything you do is documented. This is the police department, this is the village hall. I would think if you're going out to people's homes and you're giving them a warning, it just makes sense to me to document that. So when you look it up, you can say, you know what, we've been to this lady's house 4 times. The ticket now has gone from the $50 the first time to $75, it's $150, and let's do something else, because obviously she's not listening to us. And I'm just really upset that I have this violation, and I made a complaint today with the village. It's going to go to Lou Estrada first, and then Sergeant Johnson, and then I guess it's going to go to the person above her to look and see if they're going to get rid of it. But I would like to know if this paperwork that's being handed out to residents in Carroll Stream, is that approved by the village, or is that just something Lou Estrada can write? Instead of, I said, if she was going to come give me the ticket, she'd have scratched out, please consider this a warning, and you will be cited, because that's not how I took it. And when she came back the next day, I was, like I said, I was very.
Can I comment?
Yes.
On that?
Yes.
I was a police officer for over 25 years until I got elected to the board. We, as a village board, do not have to approve it, but I initiated a form similar to that in reference to minor violations. Your garbage cans are out too early or too late, or, just minor violations, ordinances. And instead of writing someone a ticket, I would fill that out if you have any questions, because some people don't know the ordinance. And so I would fill that out, and then I would keep a little tally, and if I have to go back there, then, but again, so we as a board do not have to approve that. It just has to get approved by her immediate supervisor or the chief of police.
Okay, Well, that's what I'm saying.
So I would, you know, if you want to see the police department and
I did,
go that route.
so that's my only option.
Well, and you filled out the ordinance review form, so then that gets all handled in-house at the police department.
Okay, my second and last thing, I'm sorry I've talked so long. Like I said, I back up to that shopping center. The front of the shopping center is all lit up, you know, when you go there at night, it's very well lit. There's a lot, you know, all the stores and everything. To come to the back of the shopping center, there's not one light on whatsoever. And like I said, since I've recently lost my son, I'm a single woman living in the house. I find that there's a lot of people that pull up and dump trash right there. There's a little Chinese restaurant in Goodyear. They're always dumping trash. There's an electrical box back there. I've complained before, you know, you call the police, and by the time they get there, the kids are gone or whatever. People sit back there and, I was gonna say they smoke pot, but that's legal now. But I don't understand why the back of the back of the shopping center, along the building, or they do have big spotlights back there, but nothing is lit. And it's, I've I've talked to the shopping center owner. He says he doesn't have to have the lights on. There used to be an owner of the shopping center, his name was Gary Lakin, years ago. Good relationship. You could always call him and say, hey, you know, he's like, oh, you know, let me know. Let me see what I can do. Or, you know, I saw someone spraying graffiti on the doors. You hear someone break a window back there because all the cars are back there for Goodyear. But it's so dark back there that, you know, without lights or anything, you're really kind of free to do whatever you want back there. And like I said, if you do call the police, by the time they get there, they've run off or they've dumped all their trash and then they speed away. And I just would like to bring that.
Don, we don't have any requirement.
They should have lighting back there, and we can talk to the center owner and see if they can get that operational.
Okay,
That's something we'll look into.
so, okay, they'll contact the
Okay,
owner.
thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by trustee Shorzy, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zalik?
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca?
Aye.
Trustee Giesert?
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni?
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy?
Aye. Madam Clerk, it's all yours.
Thank you. Under staff reports and recommendations, number one, agreement with GovTemps USA for professional administrative services. Revise existing agreement to staff the office manager position within the administration department to a 40-hour work week for the period of January 13, 2020 through December 31, 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
Number two, agreement with GovTemps USA for accounting services. Approve a 6-month extension to the current contract that staffs an accounts clerk position in the finance department at a cost of $1,176 per week for the period January 23, 2020 through July 24, 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
Under resolutions, we have a resolution declaring surplus property owned by the Village of Carroll Stream.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Resolution 3122. Under new business, number one, raffle license application, Glen Bard North East Boys Co-op Swim Team requests approval of the raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for their fundraiser to be held at Fountain View Recreation Center on January 16, 2020.
Yes.
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 And under payment of bills, we have number one, regular bills, December 17, 2019 through January 6, 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
And number two, addendum warrants, December 17, 2019 through January 6, 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
You? Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
Moved.
Second?
Moved by trustee LaRocca, seconded by trustee Zalik. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zalik?
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca?
Aye.
Trustee Giesert?
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni?
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy?
Aye. Is there a motion to approve those items by omnibus vote?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee LaRocca. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zalik?
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca?
Aye.
Trustee Giesert?
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni?
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy?
Aye. Now, wasn't that a quick meeting? Now, before we get into report of officers, I believe we have to do a quick little video tribute, yes?
Yes.
Go ahead, Bob.
We were notified this week that today, January 6th, 2020, is our village namesake's birthday, Carol Stream. She is 77 years old. So we, as the village board, and Mayor Frank Savarino, who couldn't be here tonight, as well as the village staff, would like to wish Carol Stream a very happy birthday and a merry, happy New Year, and a healthy New Year as well. So she's out in Arizona, and we're going to send her a copy of this video. So we wish her all the best.
Happy birthday, Carol Stream.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday, Happy New Year.
Very happy birthday to you, Carol Stream.
I know Trustee Geezer had been out to visit her recently, or a couple of years ago, and she had been under the weather, and then she was feeling better, so hopefully she's feeling better these days.
I hope she did, and she was very gracious in allowing us to invade her home for several hours and share her knowledge. Even though she never lived here, she knew an
Yes.
awful lot about the community.
Yes, and she always likes hearing from us, so I'm sure she'll be happy to get this video.
Very nice. All right, report of officers. Trustee LaRocca.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. First of all, congratulations to Pablo Castro. Thank you for your 20 years of service, and you got at least 10 more to go. And Tammy Dugo, congratulations on your 20 years, and likewise, stay here for another 20. Okay, I won't push that, 10, just 10. And Trustee Geezer mentioned that Halloween decorating contest is right around the corner. But right after the Halloween decorating contest is going to be November. And this November is a very important election. I urge people to do your homework and just go vote. Vote for who you think will do the best job in office. We can't sustain any more or less than 10% of Carol Stream registered voters voting, and we can't sustain 14.7% of county voters. Let's get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Geezer.
Thank you very much. I, too, would like to congratulate Pablo Castro and Tammy Dugo for their 20 years of service to the community. It's appreciated, and it's, you've aided the community and the residents, so thank you. Big congratulations, I already mentioned it, but to the winners of the holiday decorating contest. It's a lot of fun, and I think it brightens the community a little bit. So I'm glad we're able to still continue that, and I'm glad the community has risen to the challenge each and every year. Couple events coming up I just want to mention. We have a community Martin Luther King breakfast coming up on January 2nd. Instead of the
20th.
did I say?
You said the second.
Oh, the January 20th, thank you, at the Wheaton Christian Center. It's usually in the evening, but this year it will be breakfast, and that will be at 10 a.m.?
That's correct.
10 a.m. at the Wheaton Christian Center. So hopefully a lot of residents will pop into that, because it's usually a very empowering event. And coming up on February 1st is the annual Carol Stream Citizen of the Year banquet. So you can get your tickets now for the banquet to honor the various residents who have volunteered throughout the year. And nominees will be introduced at our next meeting. So you'll all have a chance to see who's nominated.
Very
That's
nice.
my report.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Schwarzy.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy. Ditto on the congrats to Officer Castro, Tammy Dugo, and the Christmas decoration winners, and thank you for doing that, and thank you to everyone who participated in that. It's wonderful to drive around, see all the Christmas decorations, really put you in the spirit. And thank you to Judge McCluskey for his comments and accolades to our police department. We know how great our police officers and our police department is. And it's always nice for someone, especially in his profession, to come out and give him the accolade. So thank you very much, and congratulations to the police department. I just want to wish everyone a happy 2020 and encourage everyone to keep sales tax in our town by shopping in Carol Stream. End of my report.
Thank you, Trustee Schwarzy. Trustee Zalick.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to start out by saying happy birthday to Carol Stream, 77 wonderful years. As you know, we have a wonderful police department, so residents, I strongly consider you to attend our Citizen Police Academy. It's an 11-week program. Applications are due on January 16th. You can see Officer Tom Eby, but you learn about traffic stops, you learn about DUI enforcement, crashes, evidence work. It's really interesting, and if you talk to any other graduates, they really have a good time, and free pizza.
And you gain a new respect for
Well, and that's
what the police
true,
department does. You
because-
absolutely do.
And you get to ride along, and I've personally had a ride along, and they've told me that they've learned so much and have a new respect that we're not just out to get you. So, yeah, just make sure you get your applications in by January 16th. Because I worked with Pablo and Tammy, so congratulations to them on their anniversaries. Congratulations to all the winners for the Christmas decorations. With spring cleaning right around the corner, consider going through your closets and getting rid of some of your gently and new coats. The Carol Stream Rotary Club is holding their coat drive, and you can drop off your coats by February 7th. And finally, with lack of snow, people might not be aware, but you gotta get your cars off the street when there's at least forecasted 1 inch of snowfall. It makes the job easier for Public Works, and they can clear the streets, and it'll be safer for you to travel. For those cars that stay on and then they leave, now there's snow where someone might think it's dry pavement, come around a curve and hit the snow that hasn't been plowed, cause an accident. So unless you want to donate $20 to the police fund with a parking ticket, just move your cars and keep them off the street until it's plowed. And other than that, have a safe, healthy, prosperous New Year to all the residents and board members and staff. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Frisoloni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I also want to wish Carol Stream a very happy birthday. I had the honor of meeting her unexpectedly at the Park District several years ago. She just stopped into the Aldrin Center when it was still there and just walked in, and I was one of the first people to greet her and said, "Hello, can I help you?" And she said, "I'm Carol Stream." It was awesome. And at that point, we started making frantic phone calls to try and get the mayor over there, try and get the executive director over there, because I thought she was lost. So it really was an honor to meet her. I think it might have been one of the last times that she was back.
the last time.
Yeah, with her brother. So it was really an honor to meet her. So very happy birthday to our namesake, Carol Stream. The only thing I want to just say is I hope everyone has a very prosperous and healthy 2020. I know we have a very busy year ahead of us. We have some really great events coming up. We have some really great fundraisers coming up. It's going to be a very busy winter for us and a very busy spring. So Happy New Year and welcome to 2020.
Thank you very much. Our clerk, Laura Zarnicki.
Obviously, congrats to Pablo and Tammy. I do have the fortunate position to be able to help out with their graduation, and it's always so wonderful to see the kids interact with him. I mean, they come running up and they give him a big hug, and they always have smiles on, and I know he makes a great impact in their lives. And also, I did, in December, was principal for the day. I was actually able to do it at my niece's school in Bartlett Elementary, so it's absolutely wonderful. She was able to stay out of class the whole time I was there and walk around with me and everything, and it was great. So I had a lot of fun. Thank you to U46 for always inviting us out to join in that. I always have a great time every year I go, and luncheon is really nice afterwards and whatnot. And then just wanted to say happy birthday to Carol Stream. I have not had the pleasure of meeting her, but I hope she has an absolutely wonderful year ahead of her. So with that, I will end my report with reminding everybody, even though the holidays are over, our military and first responders are still out there working hard for us. So just please remember them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our village attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Today, we had a resident that came before the board to talk about getting a ticket issued for feeding wild animals, and I think it's important for everyone to recognize that, yes, the village does have an ordinance that prohibits feeding wild animals, and the purpose of that ordinance is to ensure that wild animals don't infiltrate particular areas within the village. When people put food out in their backyards, you can rest assured that that encourages the wild animals to come to that area. They can recognize the scent of the food very quickly. And as this resident indicated, she had some issues with skunks, but there are also fox, raccoons, coyotes that can come to the area if food is placed out just indiscriminately. So I think it's important for everybody to recognize that and to help the village by not putting food outside where wild animals can come and infiltrate neighborhoods. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the reminder. And our village manager, Mr. Miller.
Yes, tonight we recognize two 20-year employees with the village. And as Trustee McCarthy mentioned, it seems like every other board meeting, we're recognizing a long-term village employee. It's kind of unusual these days where you have employees that don't stick around very long. They're here five years, or with another business 5 years, and then they're off to get another job. But we tend to have a lot of long-term employees, which I think means something about the village government and the culture here. So congratulations to Pablo and Tammy. I also wanted to welcome one of our newer businesses that moved into, or that opened this last Thursday, LA Fitness. So there should be no excuse for people not to exercise in Carroll Stream. We do have a plethora of health clubs and workout spaces, including the Park District. So, and then finally, today actually we started police officer recruitment, and the testing process began. Applications are being accepted online or in person through February 5th for applicants of 21 to 35 years old. And candidates will have the option of submitting their applications and paying online on our website. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. My wish, of course, is everybody has a healthy, happy, successful coming year, both personally and us as a country, and even as a world. It's time to start working together a little bit more. Congratulations to the holiday decoration winners. All of them, everybody who decorated did a great job. There was some really good houses. I think the judges probably had a couple tough decisions to make. And it's just fun seeing people get involved and people walking by houses and driving by and everybody's smiling and happy, which is always nice to see. So congratulations. Congratulations to both Pablo and Tammy. Thank you for 20 years. Thank you for the hard work you do for our village. And I hope you're here for a lot longer, because we hate saying goodbye to people. It's pretty simple. For the last 5 years, well, this is the 5th year, every time the calendar turns to a new year, that just means that our Bags Committee starts the next year planning for our Relay for Life Bags Tournament. It starts on February 18th this year. It's again at Chrissy's. It's a Chrissy's Flood Brothers sponsored event. We're changing it up just slightly. We're going to have a 2-day kids tournament on March weekend. I don't have the date right in front of me, but it'll be posted. 7th and 8th, thank you. And that's going to be split between the Ronald McDonald House and the Special Olympics. We'll take the 2 days complete total and split it in half. The adult tournament, this is where there's just a slight change. 70% will go to Relay for Life. The other 30%, we're all going to vote and pick about 5 local charities to make small donations to. We talked about it last year, and then I confirmed to everybody this year that it's good to make an impact locally when we have that ability and there's so many local people getting involved. So kind of excited to try something just slightly new. Hopefully the village will be back with a play-in tournament, and that's always fun, and it's a good time. But there'll be more information coming out over the next week or so, and then we'll start registration. But I hope to see everybody there. We always have a good time, and it's just great seeing everybody. That's the end of my report. We do have an executive session.
We do have an executive session today to discuss Section 2C2 of the Opens Meetings Act, collective negotiating matters. There will be no action taken after executive session. So the motion will be to go into executive session for the purpose of collective negotiating discussion and then to adjourn thereafter.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
So moved by trustee LaRocca and seconded by trustee Zalick. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frizzoni.
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye. I did check with